guys, so now let's start with the next concept, that is lesson number 2 from unit 2, is that compute and networking. Okay, now what is compute? Compute means which a particular service is giving you the CPU cycles to get your work done. Okay, they are giving you kind of a CPU utilization services so that you can get your works done. Just like you're having a CPU at your home for your desktop monitors, you're having a CPU, right? Or the particular laptops which is having a CPU utilizations done, compute power which is provided by some of the services, that is mainly due to the two parts, I would say, and which is very important service, right? In Azure, that is very important service, that is your compute. So Azure Compute provides flexible, scalable computing solution that adapt to your application unique performance need. Okay, so that is called as compute, which let's suppose you want to run an application, you want to host the data, you want to do anything you want to do, right? Which has been provided by the compute. That is a service category. On the other side, we have some important services that is called networking. So Azure networking enables secure high performance connections between cloud and on-premises. So networking means earlier what we are managing, now what we are managing, RJ45 port, right? Or cables, wires, switches. You are managing in your offices, right? Or the client is managing the network cables, RJ45, jack, all those things they are managing. But in the cloud, you do not need to manage anything. You do not need to manage any those physical aspects of the networking. All things will be virtual. This is also virtual and this is also virtual. Everything is virtually we are managing or handling. Okay, so that is the power of the services what we are getting from the cloud provider, and how you will see them in your Azure portal. By going into this, you can close it. Okay, and you can close this also, close this also, go to the all services, and you can see compute. Under the compute, we have so many resources there. Networking, right? If you go to this, see, we have networking. If you click on this, you have so many resources, services under networking. Okay, so that these are the two aspects which we are having. Now that is called as compute and networking. Now we will explore one by one. So first we will be having compute. Now compute, what is the first compute example what we are having? Virtual machines. Azure Virtual Machine, which we have seen in the IaaS, right? Infrastructure as Service. These are having, or these provide you actually the higher availability to get your job done. If you need a laptop like computer, or if you need a server, then virtual machines is the answer for you. Okay, if you want to host the data, if you want to host a particular virtual machine, all those things can be done with the help of Azure Virtual Machine, and they guarantee higher availability also. Okay, so those things are there in the cloud. Okay, if you go to the here, you can see I have under the compute. If you go click on this compute and just type virtual machines, guys, okay, you will be able to see the virtual machines. Okay, deployment will take some time. Okay, deployment will take longer time, I would say. Okay, so we will be not exploring them the deployment, but I will just show you how it been created. If you click on this Azure Virtual Machines, if you click on this Azure Virtual Machine, you will be able to see a lot of options over here. See, again, subscription, resource group, and regions is required. So I would select the box one, that is my resource group name. I would say VM01. Okay, where I want to deploy this server, I want to deploy this server in central US. Okay, let's suppose, and I can select this thing. If you want this server to be highly available, so I have so many options. I will say that no infrastructure required. Okay, what kind of virtual machine you need, or what kind of laptop you need. So I would say, let's suppose I need a Windows machine, so I can take the Windows image. If you need a Linux laptop or a Linux machine, you can select this thing. See, if you click on this see all images, it will show you plenty of list of OS available. It will show you plenty of list available for you. You can create the resources. See, Windows Server, Ubuntu, Windows 10. See, this is what you are checking right before going and purchasing the laptop, right? See, everything. I will say that, okay, I will need Windows Server. So I will select this Windows 2016 machine and I will go down. What kind of machine you need? I need 2 core CPUs, 8 GB of memory. See what is it is being costing per month? It is costing me this thing. See, if you click on see all sizes, it will cost me this thing. See, multiple things it will cost me. So if I go for D series machine, I will get 2 core CPUs, 8 GB of RAM, 4 data disks, and this is IOPS I will be getting. Just like it is a market, guys. It is just like a kind of a marketplace. You are dealing, you are purchasing, you are renting out the resources. Okay. So you can see I need this. So monthly charges, what I need to pay? I need to pay that is cost per hour 16 rupees. I told you, right? It is priced every hour. Build every pricing is done every hour. So I'm just selecting this select. Okay. Username, I will just give my username as Azure, anything, and password. To log in, right? We need a valid password. Okay. So I'm just typing the username and password. Okay. And review plus create. So this is how you can create a virtual machine. Okay. Under the cloud. See, 16 rupees is per hour. I will be charged per hour. I will be charged this much amount and I can click on create. Okay. So this is how you can create a virtual machine in the cloud. It will take some time. Submitting deployment. Similarly, what other resources we are having? We are having VMs only. But if you want to ensure higher availability of the VMs within the data center, guys, then we have this concept of availability set. Okay. Now, if you want that, let's suppose what happened. This is one data center. Please understand, it's pretty simple. I will explain you. Don't worry about it. See, let's suppose this is one data center. Okay, one data center. Now, inside the data center, we have different racks of power. This is having different power supply. This box is having different power supply. This box is having different power supply. Isn't it? So everyone is having different power supply. Everyone is having different power supply. Now, this under this availability set, always remember that availability set occurs for the same data center. Availability set occurs for the same data center. So within the data center, we have the different racks of power, and within these racks, we are distributing these machine so that if this is not available, at least other two will be available for us. Okay. So that is what the availability set works like this. Even tomorrow, if Microsoft is updating at this server or this server, right? At least one server will be available up and running for the customer. How it is done? It is being a part of the more advanced topic that we will be studying in Easy 104. But for the time being, I am just making you aware about the availability set that we are using this feature to make our system up and running even in the case of outages. Okay, but remember one thing, this is used for your single data center, one data center. If tomorrow anything goes wrong to your data center, none of them will work. So in that case, what will work? Availability zones. Are you getting my point? Understood? Yes or no? If your availability set is not working, or maybe some outages happen, right? Yes or no? Maybe some outages happen. Then in that case, you can go with the availability zones. Why, sir? Why we will go with the availability zone? Because you are dividing the machines into the different data center on the zonal wise, right? Just we did it a few minutes back. We have seen it. That's why in that case we are choosing the availability zones. Okay, so that is what the availability set looks like. Okay. Now let's see that if we have our VM created. So this is your VM. If you go to the resource, you can click on this resource and it will looks like this. See, I have a resource and this is my VM up and running and everything is there. If you want to connect to this VM, just click on this connect button, connect. Once you click on this connect, it will give you this public IP. So you can download this RDP file. Basically, you can connect it using RDP file. If it is your Windows laptop, you can click on this download RDP file. Once you downloaded it, just click on this. It will show you guys this thing. See, remote desktop. It is a public IP address of the machine. This machine belongs to which region, guys? Central US. See, I am using this Central US server sitting in India. I can click on connect. Once you click on connect, they will ask you for the username and password. My username is Azure. What is my password? The password which you have given while creating the server. I can click on OK. Now, once you click on OK, it will take you to this. It's just a certificate warning and click on yes. Once you click on yes, see, it is configuring the remote connection on the port 3389. Okay, it looks like this. Okay, see, my system is up and running in the cloud and I am able to use my Azure Virtual Machine very effectively, very easily. See, it is just like your computer only, right? It is loading. See, it is just like your laptop, just like your desktop, right? How soon? Within, I guess, 5 to 7 minutes, I have created this server. But if you are going to the market to purchase a laptop, how much time will it take? Isn't it? Are you getting the difference? Why the people are moving to the cloud? Why everyone is switching over to the cloud? Yes or no? Right? This is the reason because we are renting out the things. See, everything. It's having a C drive. It is having a local drive, C, recycle bin. See, everything is there. C, D. See, just like your machine, laptop, right? Even if you go to the Internet Explorer, download the Google Chrome and use your social media sites also, everything you can do that, right? It's just like a peanuts. Okay, so those things are there which you can understand it and in the virtual machine. Okay, if you can come back, you can come back outside. Now, one more thing, I have deployed these things under my resource group. So you can go to this box 01, okay, resource group, and you can see so many resources available here. Under box 1, I have so many resources. So if you want to delete all of them, just select all of them. And what you will do, you can click on delete. Okay, apply force delete. I will type delete. Okay, just type delete and click on yes. See, within just a couple of minutes, I have created also, I have deleted also in front of you. It's just very easy to get going. That's why you just tell me. We have been discussing this thing from the past, I guess, 2.5 hours, right? 2.5 hours. Did we require anything like it required the coding or anything? No, right? Is it like a very tough? No, anyone can learn cloud. Even the people who are coming from the non-technical background also can learn cloud, right? That's why I'm saying, you see, this thing is available and it is executing the delete command. So after some time, it will be deleted. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and you will be able to delete it, the resources. Okay. So this is how you can delete the resources within your infrastructure. See, I have just deleted it. And even if you go to the deployments also, you can see that everything, whatever you are doing, see, my storage account deployment is there, my VM creation deployment is there, everything is there, and you can see, you can get this thing detail. So tomorrow, if any, this can be asked, this has been asked in one of the interview, that how we can find the resources deployment time and how we can check that when it has been actually deployed. So you can find the resource deployment by coming under to the respective resource group, go to the deployments, and you can check that particular deployment for the time. Okay, this is possible. Clear? Make sense? Yes or no? Okay. So this is how we can understand about the virtual machines. Okay. Any doubt? Or clear? So our next topic is something related to the virtual machine only, but it is a part of virtual machine, and that is called as VMSS, virtual machine scale set. Okay. Now, when we are using this virtual machine scale set, let's suppose on this coming Sunday, that is tomorrow at 1 p.m., we have a sale. We have a sale. Let's suppose you are having a retail website, or just like a website like a Flipkart or Amazon or any other e-commerce website you are having, and you are having a sale at 1 p.m. Earlier you were expecting 5k customers to browse your website, okay? But suddenly it's your day and 100k customers have come to your website. So in that case, what will happen? Your system is designed for 5k, but you are getting a traffic for 100k. How will you survive? Are you getting my point? If it is an on-prem, if it is an on-prem, you are reaching to your local vendor to get your things done, right? But that will be time taking. Are you getting my point? Now you have designed that everything can be done in 5,000 customer can come and hit you, browse your website. But suddenly it's your good day and you expect that 100k customers has come to your particular thing, right? So in that case, what we'll be understanding here is that your system might get crash. Your system might get crash. So in that particular case, what we are understanding is all about that we need some resources to act adaptively, and that is something called as VMSS, virtual machine scale set. Okay, so what will happen that it will increase the number of instances depending upon the usage or the traffic which is coming, and it will reduce also the number of usage or the number of instances, okay, if the traffic is low. That is called as VMSS, virtual machine scale set. So VMSS are advanced compute resources that dynamically adjust the virtual machine instances based upon the real-time performance metrics. Okay, so it will automatically scale out or scale in based upon the particular question, based upon the particular scenario which we are having in this particular VM scale set. Okay, and that is called as elastic compute resources. Elastic, right? Elasticity is the feature of cloud computing. You remember we discussed cloud benefits. So elasticity means scale up, scale down based upon the usage. So tomorrow, even if you have sale and you have unpredictable server load or workload coming, right? So you can adjust the demand based upon the increase up or increase down based upon your scenarios. Okay, so those things are there. Questions you can ask after this, after the end of the session. Okay, I will give you the those are having the doubt, we can take up your question that time. Okay, for sure. Just mark your questions after the end of the session. We will take up your questions and we'll discuss it. Okay. Yeah. So these things are there in the Azure Virtual Machine scale sets. That is elastic compute. Now, similarly, how will it looks from the Azure portal side? If you go to this particular VMSS, if you type virtual machine scale sets, it looks like this. See. So basically, one virtual machine based upon the image, same, exactly everything is same as per your virtual machine. But increasing or decreasing instances will work depending upon your workload need. Okay, so this is how we are able to understand it. Okay, from the virtual machine scale set perspective. Okay, so this is about the virtual machine scale sets, which we need to understand about the elastic compute. Now, second thing is there, which we are having just a part of the compute only. We are having some other services that is called container services, right? Container services. We are having this container instances, container application, Kubernetes, right? So I will take you one very common scenario so that you can understand what I am talking about. Okay. So let me just quickly get that. Just give me a minute. So guys, what I am doing, I am just getting this image. See, I'm not doing anything at the backend. I'm just getting one image from the Google. Okay, you can see I'm getting one image from the Google. Why I'm getting this image? To make you understand the difference between virtual machines and the containers. Please focus here. Okay, I know it's a very new topic, but you can understand what I'm trying to say here. See, left hand side is your virtual machines, right hand side is your containers. Now, what is containers? Containers is just a kind of a websites or an application which is up and running in just a matter of seconds. Are you getting my point? If you want to deploy any websites in the cloud, it will be there. It will be up and running very quickly. Okay. Now understand. In the virtual machines, what we are having an infrastructure. Containers also we are having infrastructure, just like a CPU, compute, storage, and power. Everything we are having. On the top of it, we are having something called as hypervisor. Hypervisor, what is hypervisor? Hypervisor is a virtualized layer on the top of which we are creating something called as virtual machines. This is virtual machine. Are you getting my point? So what I'm trying to say here that first is your basic compute, which you are having for your laptop also, right? CPU utilization, storage, network, all these things. On the top of it, you are having something called as Hyper-V. Hyper-V is a virtualized layer. On the top of it, you are creating a virtual machine 1, virtual machine 2, virtual machine 3. See? So, in order to deploy any Azure virtual machine, what you need? The system needs hypervisor. So if I am going to the Azure portal and creating the virtual machines, Azure portal is providing me the hypervisor. Then only I am able to create the multiple virtual machines, right? So that is what the important thing is your virtual machine 1, virtual machine 2, and virtual machine 3. Similarly, if you look on the other hand side of this, what is there? I am having an infrastructure. On the top of the infrastructure, I am having something called as operating system. Operating system means any operating system. It can be your Windows operating system or it can be your Linux operating system. And on the top of this operating system, I am installing the container engine, or it is called as Docker engine. And on the top of this container engine or Docker engine, I am creating something called as containers. That is T1, T2, T3. Please understand, it's very simple. You are getting this thing in a trivial way. It is not there like that. I am telling you, basic part is clear. Basic part is same for both of them. Okay. In the virtual machine, I have the virtualized layer that is called hypervisor. Okay. And on the top of it, I am having this operating system application. This is one virtual machine, right? Even if you have created the virtual machine, you will be getting an operating system, Windows operating system, your application library files. Similarly, this is another virtual machine, this is another virtual machine, right? On the right hand side, what I am having just a one operating system. It can be a Linux, it can be a Windows. On the top of it, I am having a container engine or Docker engine. And on the top of this Docker engine, I am creating the multiple containers. Okay. Now, sir, what is container? Just like an application, just like a website, which is pretty up and running and easy to use. That is called as containers. Are you getting my point? So that is called as containers. Is it clear, guys? Understood the containers? Yes or no? So now if you look for this, Azure Container Instance are rapid, cost-effective container deployment. Okay, lightweight, short-lived websites which is up and running. Okay, we have the container application. Now then, what is this Kubernetes? What is this Kubernetes? What is this? Why this is sitting in this image? Can anyone tell me what is this Kubernetes? Anyone? Any guess? Why it is there with the containers? Who can tell me? Any idea? Because container Kubernetes is container orchestration, container management, and it is used to manage the containers. Let's suppose if you have 100 containers, how you are going to manage those 100 containers, my friends? That thing you can work or manage with the help of Azure Kubernetes. The image you are seeing here, right? These are the containers, Azure Kubernetes services. Absolutely correct. Simplifying the container management or container orchestration. What does this mean? Orchestration. Orchestration means to see when the container is going down, to see when the container is going up with the CPU utilization. Everything you can manage with the help of this Azure Kubernetes. Okay, clear? So that is what we are having in this part of Kubernetes. Okay, so basically Docker is nothing. Docker is a kind of an engine. Okay, just like you are having a Docker layer or a container engine. On the top of the Docker engine, you are creating the container. Okay, and Kubernetes is used to manage these containers. Who is managing this container? Kubernetes. That is, Kubernetes is also called as K8 cluster. If you want to note it down from the interview perspective, Kubernetes is called as K8 cluster. Why? Because the words in the Kubernetes spelling is 8 words. Kubernetes, K8 cluster. We call it as a short form as a Kubernetes cluster, K8 cluster. Okay, so those things are there, and it has been deployed on the top of the container or Docker engine. Okay, so this is how we are managing the containers or Docker. Clear? I hope Docker and difference between Docker and Kubernetes is clear. Docker is just a part of the layer which is used to on the top of which you are creating the containers. Okay, that is one thing. Is it clear, guys? Yes or no? How it will be created? I will just show you from the portal because the deployment is there. Let me just check that where it is. I guess I need to open that. Okay, so so it's you can see that the containers over here. If you type here the containers, okay, container instances, you can see over here. You can click on create containers. Okay, you can click on create containers. Select the box one. See again the same options are coming for our resources, right? here, or this thing, resource groups, okay, and region. Container name, I can say Azure Made Easy Container 01, okay. Region where I need to host this site. Let's suppose I want to host it in West US, okay. Everything I can just select it like this. Quick start images. Image means the whether it is a Linux container or the your what we can say Windows container. Going forward, I can obviously this containers also run on the CPU only, right? That's why they are showing you the size. If you see here, they are giving you this number of CPU cores. You can just type CPU cores, 1.5 GB of RAM, GPU like this, and select OK. Once you're done with this, go to the networking, give any DNS label. DNS means domain name server. Just give it like a Azure Made Easy container. Any name you can give it to the friendly name you can give it to the container and leave all these options basics as it is. Just next, next, next. I'm doing, and I can click on this create. Okay, so those things are there. If you click on this submitting deployment, you can see that it's creating the container instance. Okay. So those who have the questions after the end of the session, they can stay back and we will be discussing your questions. I will unmute you. You can speak up. Okay. And you need to understand that once we are done with the session, I will definitely take it up in the session. So please wait for that time. Okay. Everyone, I hope it is clear to everyone, right? Clear. I believe we need to understand the decorum of the sessions. Okay, so please wait for the right time. I will definitely take up your question. Okay, it's not your college or the class, so please adhere to it. Okay, I will definitely take up your question, guys. Please wait for the right time. Okay, because if I take now, others will get confused. We have the audience from the other part. Definitely, I will once will our session will be over. Definitely, will be taken. Okay. So we will be able to create the container instances like this. So here, this is how you can deploy the container and deployment is in progress. So recordings will be available to those who have attended it. So our team will calculate the attendance, how much time you have been there in the session. For them, it will be available. Okay. After today's and tomorrow attendance, it will be calculated by the team and then it will be available to those who have attended it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is how you can deploy the container instances, guys. So this is the deployment. So here you can say that you can go to the resource. You can click on this and refresh it. So if you refresh this container instances, okay, now you can see that your container instances is up and running. And if you just browse it, guys, your websites is available, right? See, your websites is available. Even if I just ping you this link, see, your website is up and running. Your container instances website is up and running. Okay. So this is, I hope everyone is able to access this websites, right? Container website, container instances, right? So this is how we are able to understand. Is it clear? Container instance is clear, everyone? Okay. Now, so second thing is that we are having the next topic, that is your Azure Virtual Desktop. Now, our next topic is your Azure Virtual Desktop. It is similar as per your virtual machine, okay? But here, if we want to manage the understanding of the AVD, that is a short form is AVD, Azure Virtual Cloud Desktop. So if you don't want to manage all your virtual machines, What I'm saying that what I'm saying that guys, in the virtual machine, what you are doing, you are creating the whole machine and you are logging in and you are managing those virtual machine by your own, right? But in this virtual desktop, if you want only the access to that remote desktop, you do not need to manage the underlying infrastructure. So in that case, you should go with this Azure Virtual Desktop. Okay, it implements the zero trust factor. You can have the multi-factor authentications enabled for your Azure Virtual Desktop so that you can have the flexible access to your environment. Okay, you can also determine the flexible access. You can deploy the machines just like you're having Mac OS, iOS, Android. The same way you can do it, but here you do not have the lot of overhead to manage your whole machine. Are you getting my point? So in that case, you can choose the behavior and you can go with the AVDs. Even if you go to the portal, even if you go to this and if you type here AVDs, Azure Virtual Desktops, see, Azure Virtual Desktop. Easily scale your VM deployment, create hostful, manage assignments. Everything you will be able to manage. This is also part of your what? Compute service only. Even if you go to this services, you will be able to see this Azure Virtual Desktop. See, under this compute, you will be able to see this Azure Virtual Desktop. Okay. So it's just pretty simple. If even if you just head over this, you can see that transform your remote work and collaboration with Azure Virtual Desktop. Sometimes what happens, your customers or the client only want to access to Teams. Let's suppose I'm telling you one scenario. Let's suppose they only wanted to access Microsoft Teams for their work. They do not need your whole virtual machine. They do not need your whole complex environment. They just need to have this remote desktop so that they can run some Microsoft application or they can do some their own work, right? In that case, this is the perfect solution for them. Okay, the ultimate cloud-based desktop and application virtualization service, which is offering secure and scalable, cost-effective solution. Okay, so whenever if any scenarios or any situation is like that, that if you want to deploy some resource, if your client is asking that, okay, I need some similar kind of setup like virtual machine, but I need to only run Microsoft Teams or Outlook on my machine. That's it. I do not need to run more of them. Then in that case, you can go with this Azure Virtual Desktop. Okay, so that is 100% possible. Okay. So this is called as Azure Virtual Desktop. There is one more thing that is called as Azure App Services. Now, what is Azure App Services? Azure App Service is an example of platform as a service. Okay, this is again a part of the compute. Let's suppose you want to deploy the mobile backend application, Android application, iOS application in the cloud. Definitely, this Azure App Service will be a savior for you. Okay, even if you're coming from the .NET background, Java background, Node.js, Python, PHP, Ruby on Rails, whatever, right? Or even if you're expert in the Scala, right? Or R systems, all those things you can do it, right? So I will just show you how to create a websites in the cloud. Very simple website. If you go to this compute and if you type app services, okay, just type app services, you will be here and you can see, just click on this web app, okay. Now once you click on this web app, it will load. So it will load you like this. Subscription. Subscription is my subscription. Resource group. I can select my box one subscription and web app. Web app means Azure Made Easy Web App. Okay. Just this is your website name, guys. Okay. Do you want to get a website with a code or a container? Container means our container. Just we discussed few minutes back, right? whether it's a Linux, whether it's a Windows. Okay, I can get the Linux or Windows. I'm selecting just a code. Okay, which application is it based upon? .NET application, Java application, Node.js, PHP, Python, what it is? I can say, okay, it's a .NET application. I can select my .NET application like this. Okay, which region you are going to deploy the resource website? I need to deploy the website in Canada East, Canada Central, just a region of your choice. See, I'm sitting in India, but I'm deploying it again outside my country. Okay, see, it's just like an app service plan. I'm just leaving it as it is. If your website requires a database, just create the database like this. If it is does not require, leave it like this. Okay, deployment. If you want to, if you want to enable with continuous deployment, sometimes what happen, your developers are there in your organization, they are continuously pushing up the codes to their deployment to their web app. In that case, this will be changing. Okay, so in that case, I'm not changing anything. Means if you want to link your GitHub account, you can do this with lib. Okay, by enabling. Okay, organization repository. But I don't have the GitHub account with me right now. I can select disable. Next, do you want to enable this website public access, or if you want to enable only some virtual network resources to access this website? So in that case, I am choosing this option as on. Okay, but I want everyone to be everyone on the internet can access my website. I can select on. Okay, virtual integration. I don't want to integrate any virtual network as of now. Next, it is going with this. And again, I'm going with next. Review plus create. So I will click on this review plus create and click on create. So this will create my website. Okay. So this is creating my website. It's a pretty simple website which I can create it in just a couple of minutes. Okay, so it's a deployment is in progress. You can see I am able to create the web app in just a couple of minutes. It's very pretty simple, guys. Okay, and you will be able to create the websites. You can see it's loading. Okay, we'll wait. So this will take some time for getting this created. Okay, it's just like a website we are creating. So it is having the streamlined continuous deployment. You can continuously deploy and integrate with your GitHub, Azure DevOps or Bitbucket, and you can optimize your cost management solutions. So these things we can do it from the compute. One more compute services which is there in this particular thing, that is your Azure functions. So functions means if you are coming from C++ background, okay, so this will be there. And in the Azure functions, we'll be discussing about this function. It's basically a serverless function. If you go here, let me just go back. Yes, your app service is ready, guys. You can see this is our Azure Made Easy web app. And if you click on this browse, see, if you click on this browse button, it will looks like this. Your website is up and running. Even if you browse in your laptop also, it will work. See, I just pasted my website, quick website link in the chat. Please have a try and let me know, are you able to access this website of Azure Made Easy web app, this .azurewebsites.net. Okay, I hope it is accessible. Multiple things is there. This is how you can do it or access the particular part. Okay. Now, one more topic is left, which we can cover it. That is your Azure Functions. So Azure Functions is nothing but a serverless functions which we can understand. Like let's suppose if you want to run only particular code, okay, without being used on the underlying architecture. In that case, we are using the Azure Functions. Okay, just like you are running the application, you are holding up the application, just like you are running a functions in C++, right? Call by value, call by reference, right? Similarly, we are having those functions. We can run our particular part. So the main speciality of this Azure function is that it, whatever the memory or whatever the CPU utilization it required during the runtime, that will be only charged. Other than that, it will not charge anything. It is a serverless approach through which you can run your code and get your work done. You do not need to worry about the underlying compute. You do not need to worry about the storage. Everything will be taken care by the Microsoft. You just come with your code, run your code, that's it. Okay, so these things are there. It is a serverless compute servicing executing code without infrastructure management overhead. Okay, it is an event driven and it works in the pay as you go model. Okay, so that is what about the Azure functions. Okay, now this is what we have discussed it so far. So we have started with the virtual machine, which is giving you the flexible IS computing options, followed by the container instances, which is deployed on the Docker engine. Then we have the virtual desktop, which we is basically for our particular purposes. Let's suppose I want to run Teams or Outlook on using my remote desktop. I'm only concerned about that. I do not need your virtual machine. I do not need to patch your machine. I do not care about what the memory you are using, whatever you are using. I just need to remote desktop to run my application. That's it. So in that case, I'm using the virtual desktop. Second thing, your websites. Whenever you want to deploy the website, in that case, you are going with this Azure App Services. Going forward, if you are having Azure functions, then in that case, it's a serverless.